My name is Rachel Evans. On the outside, my world looked picture perfect. A stable marriage, a nice apartment, a career that kept me moving. But the night I came home from Chicago, something in the air was off. I dragged my suitcase into the hallway, expecting the familiar warmth of home, maybe a hug or even a welcome back kiss from Tom. Instead, I found him on the couch, scrolling through his phone, a sly smile frozen on his lips. He didn't jump up, he didn't say he missed me, he just looked up and grinned, like he'd been waiting for a show to start. "Hey Rachel, you're back," he said, his voice just a little too relaxed. "Yeah," I replied, setting my bag down. "Glad to be home. Everything okay?" Tom tossed his phone aside and leaned back, arms spread across the sofa. "Couldn't be better," he said, that smug look never leaving his face. I tried to shake off the weird feeling crawling up my spine. Did something happen while I was gone? "Oh, you could say that," Tom smirked, glancing toward the bedroom for a split second, just enough to make me wonder what I'd find there. I shot him a suspicious look. "Tom, what's going on?" He laughed, that hollow, practiced laugh of someone who thinks he knows more than you. "Let's just say I made a major move for us. You'll find out soon enough. Why don't you get settled first?" That was the moment my gut screamed at me. Something's not right. Was he playing an elaborate prank? Had he landed a huge business deal? Or was it something else? Something I wasn't ready for. I pushed past him, heading down the hall to the bedroom. As I turned the handle and opened the door, I glanced back. Tom's eyes were following me, still with that odd, secretive glint. And that's when I saw it. The jewelry box on my dresser, the one I never leave home without, was gone. Completely gone. I spun around. "Tom, where's my jewelry box?" He didn't answer right away, just shrugged, as if it was no big deal. And in that moment, I realized this wasn't just a weird night. My life, my trust, and everything I thought I knew about Tom was about to be shattered.
The silence in the apartment felt heavy as I stood at my bedroom door, staring at the empty space where my jewelry box had always sat. It wasn't just a box. It was a piece of my story. Gifts from my parents, keepsakes from childhood, souvenirs from my first real job, even silly little trinkets from college days with Jenna. All gone. My throat tightened. I stormed back down the hallway, anger growing with every step. Tom was still lounging on the couch, scrolling through his phone like nothing had happened. The audacity of it nearly took my breath away. "Tom," I demanded, barely controlling my voice, "where's my jewelry box?" He didn't even bother to look up. "Oh, that? I sold it." For a second, I thought I'd misheard him. You what?" Now he looked at me, as if this was all perfectly reasonable. "Relax, Rachel. You haven't touched that stuff in ages. It's just sitting there. I needed capital for the new business. My new app is going to change everything for us." I felt dizzy, heat rising in my cheeks. "Those weren't just things, Tom. That was my history. My mom's necklace, the bracelet from Dad. You had no right." He rolled his eyes, all nonchalance and arrogance. "You're overreacting. We're a team, right? Sometimes you have to make sacrifices for the big picture. You'll see, I'll make it up to you." Something snapped in me. "A team? You didn't even ask. You just decided what mattered to me didn't matter at all. That's not a partnership, Tom. That's theft." He threw his phone down and sat up, voice hardening. "Don't get dramatic. I did what I had to do. You always make everything about your feelings. This is bigger than your little collection of memories."
His words cut deeper than I expected. If this is how you treat your team, then maybe I'm not interested in playing anymore. Tom snorted. Whatever. Go ahead, sulk. When this startup takes off, you'll forget all about that old junk. I stared at him, suddenly seeing through the charm and empty promises to the selfishness underneath. Don't expect me to forgive you for this, Tom. Not this time. He stood, grabbing his keys, and paused just long enough to glare at me. Fine, I'm going out. Maybe you'll calm down by the time I'm back. The door slammed, rattling the pictures on the wall and leaving a ringing silence in his wake. I sank onto the arm of the couch, anger quickly shifting into numbness. My mind whirled. How could he just take what mattered to me and throw it away? But as I sat there, a glimmer of something else crept in. I had a backup plan. The AirTags. After that break-in next door, I'd bought trackers for my valuables. Paranoid, maybe, but right now, it felt like the smartest thing I'd ever done. I dashed to my phone, fingers shaking, and opened the tracking app. Tiny red dots glowed on the map, scattered across the city. My favorite necklace sat in a downtown consignment store. My dad's old watch was moving, probably in the hands of a courier. Even my childhood charm bracelet had left the city limits. I took screenshots of each location, my hands steadier with every click. If Tom thought he'd covered his tracks, he was about to be very, very surprised. My phone buzzed. Jenna's name flashed on the screen. I answered, trying to keep my voice from shaking. Ratch, you back yet? You sound weird. I let out a shaky laugh. Weird doesn't begin to cover it. Tom sold all my jewelry without asking. There was a moment of stunned silence. Then, you're kidding. He did what? Please tell me you're calling the police. I will. But listen, remember those AirTags I told you about? I can track everything he sold. Jenna's voice instantly turned fierce. Girl, you're a genius. Screenshot it all. I'll come over first thing tomorrow. We'll go to the cops together. I felt a tiny surge of relief. For the first time since I walked in the door, I didn't feel powerless. If Tom wanted a fight, he just picked the wrong woman. That night, as I lay in bed staring at the blinking dots on my phone, my anger began to focus into something sharper. Determination. I wasn't going to let Tom get away with betraying my trust and erasing my history. Not this time.
Sleep was impossible that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Tom's smug face, heard his careless words echoing, "You're overreacting, sacrifices for the big picture." But now, staring at the tracking app glowing in the dark, I realized I still had the upper hand. Those tiny red dots, each one was proof. Each one was hope. At sunrise, I was already dressed and pacing. The city outside my window was waking up, but inside my apartment, everything felt strange and fragile. My phone buzzed. Jenna. "Morning, genius," she said as I picked up. "You ready to catch a thief?" I managed a small, determined smile. I've never been more ready. The app's got locations for almost every piece. Jenna's voice was fierce. "We're going to the police. Don't delete a single screenshot. Print them if you can." By the time she arrived, I had mapped out every dot, made a list of each missing item, and packed every receipt and photo I could find. Jenna burst in, hugged me tight, and went straight into action mode. She glanced at the map. "Look at this. Your necklace is still at the consignment shop. We can give them the serial number. And your dad's watch is at that pawn shop on 9th. I nodded. "What if they've already sold them?" Jenna shook her head. "Doesn't matter. With proof and police help, you'll have a shot at getting it all back. And Tom,
He'll wish he never underestimated you." We headed out together, Jenna driving like she was on a mission. My nerves flared as we pulled into the police station, but Jenna's steady energy kept me grounded. At the front desk, I took a deep breath. "Hi, I need to report a theft. My husband sold my personal property without my consent. I have evidence, tracking data, receipts, everything." The receptionist blinked in surprise, but quickly called for a detective. We were led to a small interview room. Detective Harris entered, calm but curious. "Tell me everything," he said, flipping open his notepad. I showed him the map, the screenshots, the list of valuables. Jenna filled in the details I was too flustered to remember. As Detective Harris scrolled through the AirTag app, his eyebrows shot up. "Smart move, installing these trackers," he said, tapping the screen. "Most people never think ahead." He jotted down notes, asked for every receipt, and had me forward the screenshots to his official email. "You say your husband sold these without your permission?" I nodded. He did it all behind my back. I came home and everything was gone. He looked me in the eyes. "Rachel, what he did isn't just wrong. It's illegal. With this level of evidence, we can start recovery right away. I'll assign officers to check these locations today." Relief and adrenaline washed over me. Jenna grinned. "Told you so." Detective Harris stood. "We'll keep you posted, Miss Evans. Don't contact your husband directly. Let us handle the next steps." As Jenna and I stepped out into the sunlight, she squeezed my hand. "See? This is what happens when you fight back. I'm proud of you." For the first time since Tom's betrayal, I felt it too. Not just hope, but pride. I was done being the victim. But as we got into Jenna's car, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "You think you're so smart? Watch your back. This isn't over." I stared at the message, determination hardening inside me. Tom had started this. Now I was finishing it. Detective Harris kept his promise. Just hours after filing the report, he called me for an official statement. I sat across from him in a cramped police office, Jenna at my side, my phone and notebook open between us. "We've already alerted officers near the consignment shops and pawn shops on your tracker," he said, reviewing the list. "You did everything right. These AirTag locations give us a real head start." As I recounted Tom's actions, embarrassment and anger warred inside me. I hated that I'd trusted him so blindly, but with each detail I gave, I felt a bit of that shame peeling away, replaced by a growing sense of resolve. Detective Harris asked, "Did Tom have access to your accounts or valuables before this?" I nodded. "He managed the bills, but these were all mine. Some were family heirlooms. He didn't even ask." Jenna chimed in. "He just took everything while Rachel was away for work. That can't be right." Harris's jaw tightened. "Not only is it not right, it's criminal. Depending on the value, we're likely looking at felony theft." A wave of relief washed over me. Finally, someone understood. Someone believed me. Later that afternoon, Harris called again. "We've located your necklace at the downtown boutique. The manager's cooperating. They'll hold it until we verify ownership." I covered my mouth, almost crying. "Thank you." "And the pawn shop still has your father's watch. Officers are headed there now. You're doing the right thing, Rachel. Let us keep moving on this." But Tom, of course, wasn't going to make it easy. That evening, as I was eating dinner with Jenna, my phone lit up. Tom calling. I let it go to voicemail, my hands shaking. Then a text appeared. "You went to the cops? You're trying to destroy me, Rachel. You'll pay for this." Jenna grabbed my phone and rolled her eyes. Classic abuser move. Don't answer. Keep everything for the record. Should I be worried? I whispered. She took my hand. You're not alone, and you're finally taking your power back. Don't let him scare you now. That night, as I lay in bed, I listened to the city outside my window and wondered what Tom would do next. Would he try to spin this? To blame me? Would he fight back or run? But beneath the worry, a new emotion was starting to root strength. For the first time, I wasn't just reacting. I was making the rules, and I was ready for whatever came next.
The next day, I got the first taste of real justice. Detective Harris called me with a cautious optimism in his voice. "We've recovered your father's watch and the pearl necklace from the boutique," he said. "There are still a few pieces in transit, but things are moving quickly." I felt a rush of gratitude and disbelief that, after all the chaos, something was finally going right. But just as relief began to settle in, the next storm hit. That afternoon, Tom showed up at the apartment. His eyes were wild, the confidence and charm gone. He slammed the door behind him, making me jump. "Really, Rachel? The police? You're ruining everything I've worked for." I stood my ground, my voice steady, even as my heart pounded. "You ruined it yourself, Tom. You stole from me, you lied, and now you're facing the consequences." He scoffed, pacing back and forth. "I was doing that for us. You never supported my dreams. You never believed in me." I shook my head, the weight of years of excuses falling away. "No, Tom, you did it for yourself. You never once thought about how this would hurt me." He glared, a desperate edge in his voice. "You're going to pay for this. You think they'll believe you over me?" "I have proof. I have witnesses, and the police already believe me," I replied. He turned away, defeated, but still dangerous. "This isn't over." With that, he stormed out, slamming the door so hard the frames rattled. I tried to catch my breath, hands shaking. Jenna called seconds later, her timing perfect. "Is he gone?" she asked. "For now," I whispered. She sighed. "You did great. He's just trying to scare you." I nodded, determined not to let fear take over. "It's almost done, Jenna. I can feel it. For the first time, I'm actually looking forward, not back." But as the evening wore on, Detective Harris called again. "Rachel, there's more you should know," he said, his voice serious. "While following the money trail from the jewelry sales, we discovered something else. Suspicious bank accounts, shell companies, transfers that don't add up. Your husband may be involved in financial crimes beyond theft." I gripped the phone tighter. "What does that mean for me?" "Right now, you're safe. You're a victim here, and you've done everything right. But I need you to be prepared. This investigation is getting bigger." I thanked him and hung up, heart pounding with a new anxiety. It wasn't just about stolen jewelry anymore. Tom's secrets went deeper than I ever imagined. But this time, I wasn't facing it alone, and I refused to let his darkness pull me under.
The days after Tom's outburst were tense, but I could feel the power shifting. I no longer woke up dreading the next confrontation. Instead, I focused on protecting myself and rebuilding my life. The first step was calling my lawyer, Miss Collins. Her calm confidence helped settle my nerves. I explained everything: Tom's theft, the police investigation,
the possibility of financial crimes. She listened carefully, then gave me a list. Close joint bank accounts, open my own account, gathered documentation of every valuable I still owned, file for divorce, immediately. As I worked through each task, I felt lighter. Every signature was a step away from Tom's chaos and toward my own freedom. Jenna, as always, was right by my side. She helped me pack a few essentials, things Tom couldn't touch. We laughed a little for the first time in weeks, sharing takeout on my half-empty kitchen floor. "You're doing it, Rach," she said, raising her soda can in a toast. "You're actually free." It was true. The police returned more of my jewelry, and Detective Harris kept me updated as the investigation deepened. "We're making progress, Rachel. We'll keep you safe," he promised. Of course, Tom tried to interfere, texting angry threats one minute, begging for forgiveness the next. I blocked his number, refusing to let him pull me back into his drama. Instead, I put my energy into creating new routines, morning walks, new playlists, calling old friends. I started to remember who I was before Tom's storms took over my days. One evening, as I sorted through the last box of rescued keepsakes, I caught my reflection in the window. My eyes looked clearer, my posture taller. I smiled, not because everything was perfect, but because for the first time in a long time, I was proud of myself. Tom's grip was gone. My story, my future, was finally in my hands.
A few weeks later, the last of my jewelry was safely back in my hands, each piece a small victory, a symbol of resilience. The police investigation wrapped up with Tom facing charges not only for theft, but also for fraud and financial crimes. My lawyer kept me informed, assuring me that I was in the clear. I could finally breathe. The divorce went through quietly. Each document I signed was a farewell to the years I'd spent shrinking to fit Tom's world. It was scary, but it was also freeing, like opening the window to let in sunlight after a long storm. Tom tried one last time to reach me, a late-night message blaming me for everything, begging for another chance, promising things would be different. This time, I didn't even open it. I deleted his number for good. Jenna threw a little celebration in my new peaceful apartment. Pizza, laughter, and a playlist of songs about new beginnings. "You did it," she grinned, handing me a slice. "You took your life back." I thought of everything I'd lost, but even more about what I'd gained: self-respect, courage, and a future that belonged only to me. Sitting by my window that night, I let the city lights blur into hope. My scars were still there, but they didn't define me anymore. I was ready for whatever came next, on my own terms. If you're listening to this and you've ever felt trapped, powerless, or invisible, I want you to know you are stronger than you think. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is start again. So here's to fresh starts, hard-earned freedom, and the quiet, steady power of moving on.